everyone, I'm Chef Ann and I'm here in Gigi's Playhouse kitchen with my assistant, sous chef Sarah. We will assemble the recipe for you today, and it's our top Florida swamp cabbage stew. So we're going to begin without any delay here. First, our pan is hot, nice saute pan. We're going to add avocado oil. Avocado oil is very similar to olive oil, but it's very clear and doesn't have that distinctive fragrance as olive oil. Not quite as heavy, it's lighter. Okay, Sarah, we're going to start out with our onions. Right here. Okay?
Sequence the other way.
A rough cut of your onions because we're going to saute them. We want to get a nice flavor. So we're going to put those in. All right. Stir these around. Swamp cabbage comes from the sable palm, and it's a monster palm. I tried to find a smaller one today to show you, but you will see the larger one in the presentation. Next we have our celery, just a nice half-inch cut for us. All right, so that's a nice saute that we have going there with our wooden spoon. Next, what I want to talk to you about is the actual swamp cabbage itself. We're going to do all our veggies before we do our protein, so we won't risk any type of cross-contamination. So hearts of palm is from the root of the sable palm. It is considered the Florida tree, but don't tell those people that think it's a magnolia tree. I've been doing some research with the University of Florida Extension Service, and they've been giving us lots of good information about our hearts of palm. Now, I'm not going to cut the hearts of palm in a ring like I did when I tested the recipe yesterday. I want to kind of cut it lengthwise, because when I cut it in the circles, it looked like calamari, Sarah.
That is good.
And yeah, I'm not a calamari fan. When I was a chef at Disney World, the newbies always had the great pleasure of opening the steamer where a squid had resided, and when they say, "Oh, would you mind getting that open the steamer for me?" They would open the steamer and the squid would jump out at you. So I had kinds of some flashbacks when I saw that. So we're just going to kind of cut it up. Hearts of palm is very similar to the artichoke. You know, when you have the artichoke bottoms, if you look here, it looks very woody. And it is very easily cut because this has been cooked. Hearts of palm are not processed in the United States, other than by our gentlemen in our PowerPoint that do it as a kind of a game sport. Because they're huge that they harvest in LaBelle and Immokalee down south of us. Okay? So I'm going to just push this right in. Also, the hearts of palm is very similar to a mushroom. It's like a flavor absorber. You know, like say for instance you're making chicken marsala and your mushrooms now will taste like the wine. You can eat them raw too. And we have a wonderful recipe on the front. That's a good question, Sarah. On our can, which is a salad with a vinaigrette. This is a Vigo brand, and we appreciate Vigo and the Lessies for their sponsorship of our products today. So it's a flavor absorber, so it's going to get all this delicious tomatoes and everything we have, onions, and it's going to soak right in. Okay, so let's continue, Miss Sarah, let's do the potatoes. So this is easy. You just dump right in. And let's go with these tomatoes. Thank you. I never had such a luxury of all this help. Now these are the fire roasted tomatoes. I love this product. You can do it yourself. If you have any interest in learning how to roast your vegetables properly, we can chit chat after our session. You can buy me lunch. Sarah too.
I'm coming along.
That's right, that's right. That's buy Sarah's lunch too.
Wow, that smells great.
Isn't it wonderful? Okay, let's add the bell peppers next. Sarah, sous chef Sarah. These are the little mini colorful ones. I didn't have any yellow ones. Those I think my husband's favorite. But when you are prepping your veggies, save the seeds, put them over in a wet paper towel and put them in the fridge, but remember to plant them, as we have at the White House. Okay? This is really delicious. Now let's go for our chicken next. Now this, Sarah, I roasted in the oven with a little smoke seasoning, so it has just that little bit of like hardwood smoked flavor, but also I put some of our favorite seasoning that we have here. A girl from New Orleans, I sprinkled a little Tony on there.
I love that.
You love Tony?
I have that.
Yes, yes, okay. I did my chef's training in New Orleans, in the French Quarter. I worked at Arno's restaurant, and while I was there, I was fortunate enough to write their cookbook with John Mayer, who was the editor at the New York Times at that time. So that was very nice for them to pay my tuition to culinary school for that service. So we're just going to do a little rough cut on our chicken. The chicken thigh is very flavorful, it's moist. However, the importance of the chicken thigh is it's very rich in the B complex vitamins. A lot of people just want the breast, but we have a lot of moisture in our chicken thighs. You can cook your chicken with the fat on, you know that, and then render the fat away. You know, that it keeps the moisture in, that's for sure. All right, so we're going to add this to our mixture neatly. Sarah's the neat one, right? She's the funny one. When I retired from the college last year, I told my husband I was starting a career as a celebrity chef and comedian. He says I'm doing okay on the chef part. I need to work on the comedian part. So this is really turning out to be a delicious stew here. Wow, huh?
Smells great.
Now I talk a little bit about this sausage. This sausage that we have today is from my daughter Elizabeth. She is our lead, our troop leader of our TOPS chapter. I guess I shouldn't say troop, I should say leader. And it was a mystery thing down in the bottom of her freezer drawer. So we're going to call it a, I don't know, let's say we're pretending that it's perhaps maybe andouille, but it's really not. I think it's a chicken sausage. We have a wonderful meat market in our area that we love to frequent. It's on Apollo Beach Boulevard in Apollo, Florida. You can figure out the name of that, but they have a lot of wonderful fresh things. Now look here. Look at this sausage. Okay? These little globules right here is fat that's been added as it was processed, as it was ground, okay? That fat will give us satiety, it will give us moisture, and flavor, okay? So we're going to go ahead and add this, just 2 pieces, so it's not a lot of extra fat, but it's pre-cooked, all right? So all we have to do is heat it up. How about we have that tomato juice now there, Sarah?
You know, you're getting all technical with me. What's this? What'd you call it? Satiety?
Satiety?
Yes.
Satiety means satisfaction.
Oh, okay.
Don't we have satisfaction?
Yeah, got it.
That's the mouthfeel, the mouthfeel.
I hope I'm not the only one that has that question when they say
No, absolutely not. Satiety. You can maybe flash that across the screen. Boy, this is really doing great. Something jumped away here. Okay, so this we'll use for garnish. This we'll use for garnish. Now, in our GiGi's vintage cooking class this semester, we have been selecting 2 herbs each week. Last week, our herb was thyme and basil. Thyme is a symbol of elegance.
I better eat more.
Yes. And stick-to-itiveness. And our students are very focused. We have 4 students in the vintage cooking class, and last week they got to select their own menu. I'll share some of those pictures with you. It was absolutely fabulous. Also, we selected basil, and basil is the sign of courage. So, also I did want to talk a little bit about the shallots, but I could do a whole cooking show on shallots. Shallots are the prized French onions that Marsala was talking about earlier. Definitely we would use our shallots. Not a whole lot of them. When we saute, adding our wine. Okay? See how beautiful they are there? You don't need a whole lot. They are expensive. They're about $3 a pound. We have a wonderful international market here. You probably passed by it. There was thousands of people there. It's called San Juan's International. It's right up the street from us. And they are very, very kind and generous to all of us here at GiGi's. As opposed to our garnish, which is the scallion. It's not a shallot. That's a shallot. This is a scallion.
I thought the end of the green onion was a shallot, but it's not.
No, it's a scallion. It's a scallion.
Okay.
Now, also our students last week, we'll reach over into the refrigerator there, Sarah. There's a little Tupperware container to the left. And those are some scallion flowers that our students made for garnish last week. And let's see how they're blooming up. Oh yes, very nicely. See how they make a nice flower. That's the end of your scallion. All right? We'll use that for some garnish today. I'm not very good at that's called garmager, food styling. I'm not very good at that. My husband was never comfortable about me carving ice. It must be something about a 300-pound block of ice and an electric chainsaw.
Could have something to do with it.
Not gas chainsaw, but electric chainsaw, okay? All right, oh man. Hope everybody's hungry here. We would like to thank, naturally, Chef Rob, our chef instructor, our lead chef instructor here at GiGi's. And today we have a guest who is filming us, our new friend Joe. All right, so there we are. We're going cooking with electricity today. We also do have some cheddar biscuits. My daughter Elizabeth has been purchasing some keto-friendly, low-carb product, and that is the cheddar biscuit. And we can serve our stew over brown rice. A little bit about brown rice. I'm starting a blog, and my blog is entitled Life Without Rice. Now, I'm a girl from New Orleans. Don't take my rice, please. However, we can use brown rice with our beans. I have a friend who's a professor of economics, and he believes that you should cook a pot of beans every week. Saves money, saves time, but the nutrient value there of marrying your red beans, naturally on Monday in New Orleans we have red beans, and then your brown rice, that forms together and gives you a complete protein. Once again, with all those necessary amino acids that we need in our diet. So here is our simmering product of our Tops Florida swamp cabbage stew. Very colorful. It will be very flavorful. So what's happening now is the stock is reducing. We want to reduce it by half. Now, Sarah, is this something your kids would eat?
Absolutely. They eat everything.
They eat everything? That's a good thing. And we could possibly, we could have it as a soup, couldn't we? Once all our vegetables are cooked and nice and tender. we have today some brown rice, like I said, for us to serve it on. And we want to get it to about 1/2 of the consistency it is now for our stew. Well, we have our finished product, and we're going to serve a portion for us, that's for sure. And we're going to start out with rice, because we're not denying ourselves a brown rice, okay? Put some rice there. There's some cracked black pepper in there as well. We garnished it with our fresh thyme again, okay? We will make us a nice hearty serving. From the bottom there, so we've got our sausage. There's one of our scallion brushes that the kids made. Oops, we don't. All right, now, Sarah, would you like to give a little sprinkle of those scallions? And I have to pay my sous chef. Oh, yes. And enjoy. Thank you for joining us today at Gigi's Playhouse in Tampa. Thank you, Sarah, for serving as my sous chef. You did a fine job. So what we did today is we took Florida-friendly products. We took low-fat, low-cal, high-nutrient ingredients and made a wonderful dish that everyone will enjoy.